When I was growing up, I have this profound love for a very sensational, highly notorious hip-hop artist, Adigun Alapomeji. Nice. And of course, this young man promised us Grammy. I haven't seen a copy of that yet. Maybe, of course, he's still alive. He's going to bring Grammy home sometimes in the future. Just maybe. But that's not where I'm going. This morning, I want to talk about one of his songs, Kongwaso. He said something very particular in his song, which is Ajíṣebí Ọ̀yọ́ láàrin, Ọ̀yọ́ ìṣebí baba ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan. If I'm trying to translate that to English, what it means is that it is those who copy the Oyo people that we see. Oyo never copies others. I'm not from Oyo State, but I live in Oyo State. Whether that is true or not, I'm not sure. Because Kwarans like myself, we don't act like others. We don't copy other people's pattern. How would that give you any form of knowledge this morning? Or what would that imply in this series of daily dose of knowledge that I drop? I think the message I'm trying to drive home is don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. Yes, if you need me to repeat that, I will. Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. What do I mean? If this daily form of content is something that I know or have thought about that is not sustainable, then making it for the next 90 days to the point you get addicted to saying me every morning like this is a rubbish form of pattern I should not create because I cannot sustain it. But if I have looked into my calendar, my schedule, my lifestyle, what I'm planning to pursue in the next 90 days or 100 days or 1 year or 20 years, and this daily form of content fits directly into it, then of course, I can go ahead. Maybe you are not getting my point yet. You see those morning routine those unnecessary morning routine that your mentors and creators online have created for you. Those 4 hours work week pattern, those, this is the first thing you do. 4 a.m. when you wake up in the morning, you do Mind Palace. 2 a.m. you do, 3 a.m. you do. You have created a whole calendar of routine for how the millionaires make their money through imagination, knowledge. And you too, you have inculcated this set of routine as the way to go. What I'm here to tell you this morning is that you need to quit on those things. And I'm serious about it. You need to what? Quit on those things. You need to stop following those routines, those morning routines. And it's not just about that. You see, when we meet a girl on the first date, we do too much. I'm serious. As ladies too, the first time you are going to his house, you are all prepared, all dressed up, you are planning on cooking food, platter pritata, all of these extra activities you want to bring to the table. You see, the moment you establish a pattern of expression, people will expect it from you on a regular basis. The moment you set the standard for how you operate, people will take it as the standard for operation. And this is where most relationships fall apart. This is where all the good habits, all the good practices, all this set of routine and activities you plan to be doing in order to gain confidence, in order to make content, this is where they start falling apart. When the pattern of expression you are bringing to the table is the type you cannot sustain. When the volume of going to the gym is the type you cannot sustain. When your morning routine is too routinous that you cannot keep up with it. When the unreasonable amount you are spending on your girlfriend, those unreasonable amounts you are sending to her every week becomes unsustainable. That's when the relationship fall apart. No, the guy has stopped loving me. He no longer send me money the way he used to send me. I think he has seen some other fine girls. It is perfectly rational for her to rationalize as thus. Since that's how you have been operating with her, and all of a sudden you have changed here, and guys will often feel like, oh, now he has what he wants, and that's why he's no longer reaching out to me. Now he has chopped my cookies, and that's why he's no longer interested in the bills. And the truth is that in the first place, you were never truly committed to such pattern of expression. The truth is that you don't used to operate that way. So why do you start that way? Some of you, the reason why you are running an unprofitable business, the reason why your business is definitely going to collapse is because the modus operandi, the mode of operation that you currently have is so thwarted, is so good. I've seen people that their boyfriend often finance the circle of their inventory. So they buy a 10 million naira goods, and by the time they are done selling that one, the amount that will be left in their account is just 7 million. And now they need an additional 3 million naira support from the husband or boyfriend in order to buy the next goods. So the question is, are you even running a profitable business? Or we should say that the 3 million that are supposed to be part of the capital, you have used them for something. What? To buy shoes and bags. Sometimes that's not the case. You people have learned this bad habit that it now makes sense for you to sell lower than the cost of products the cost of acquiring the product. You have learned the bad habits. You have learned, you see, I tell people that I'm a clarity consultant, which is my goal is to help you know what's your next step. I don't talk about the problem alone. I don't do this nose dive into the situation of things. I don't do all this analogical explanation of the case. I go deep dive into your problem, and I say, oh, this is your next step. One thing you need to highlight now is, what are the problems that I have created based on my expression, my pattern of expression? What are the problems I have created based on the way I plan to reach out to customers? Some of you have created this social good business, this company that is about social good, right? You guys are not you are not for profit. Now you want to move from non-profit to profit, and you're having a problem. Some of you have created your entire brand around Nigeria and Nigeria customer, and now you want to move to foreign customer. It becomes a problem. You have established your brand as a low budget brand, 3K shop. That's what you even call your business entirely, or 1K shop. And now you are finding it hard to sell a luxury product. Nobody will buy a luxury product from a 3K shop. Think about it for a second. Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. Don't. I don't know whether I'm making sense to you. Don't. In your relationship, in your marriage, for your kids, in every area of your life. Don't. When you used to buy chocolate and video for your kids, and now you say it's off the table, what kind of parent do you think they are going to think you are? Your inconsistency is going to ruin you. Your inconsistency is going to ruin you. It's going to spoil your business, going to spoil your relationship with your kids, your husband, your wife, your friend. You used to clear the tap at the bar, Anytime there's a clubbing session, you used to clear the tap. Anytime there's a party somewhere, you are the one that sponsor all the guys to the party. You used to pay for all the ride, and now can no longer afford it. And you are wondering why your friends no longer roll with you. You see, you used to be the alpha in the park. Now you are a beta. What do they call it? I think beta and tata or something. Now you are a beta and tata. You are expecting them to understand. They can't understand. It doesn't work. It will not feel right. I've seen people reach out to me and say, hey, my girlfriend no longer respects me, blah, blah. I say, what changed? And they say, nothing, she just changed. She's the one that changed. Are you sure she's the one that changed? Or you used to be the one that sponsor all the bills, take care of the tabs, pay for the house rent, pay for the dinner, pay for everything. And then all of a sudden, the role have been reversed. Now she's the man in the relationship. And as such, you started getting a dose of your own, what did they call it? A dose of your own medicine or something. Yeah. You started getting a dose of your own medicine. You started receiving the balabolo, the bulaba. Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. Well, you may say, Elon, calm down, Elon. Things change. So how do you want us to handle that? I think the first thing you have to know, if you are thinking clearly, is that it takes you understanding things change for you to establish a sustainable pattern of expression. Which means, even when you have enough resources, deny your girlfriend. She wants an iPhone, tell her to wait. She wants a laptop, tell her to wait. She wants Bond Street. I'm not saying you should not buy it. Give her a timeline. Oh, I need to save up for that. Even if you have the money in your account. Because you are being unrealistic the moment you are spending based on the availability of resources. A guy who reached out to me the other day and said, last week or 2 weeks ago, I get a project, I'm into solar panel. I get a project of 2.7 million, yada, yada, yada. And for my wife, now that the money we are spending we are done spending it, she's no longer, she's easy on me. I will stop having sex with her. So I give you advice. Don't do that rubbish. You're a man. Your job is to provide and protect. So don't say you'll stop having sex with your wife. You want us to be having sex with outsiders because she's easy on you or whatever. One thing I would say is that look for ways to make the money and be the provider and the protector that you are promised to be. But here's the thing. I did not go ahead and tell him this truth, which is something you have opportunities to hear. Now, he fucked up. How? Why will you spend 2.7 million? I don't know what his profit was inside the 2.7 million. Within the 1 week or 2 weeks, and now, 3 weeks later or something, you are expecting her to be understanding. When for the last 2 weeks, every night you have been buying her suya and pepperoni and amala place and all of these special things. You have to figure out your life as a continuum. Life is not just a one moment spot. It's not a one moment. That's why I hate this Big Bang theory. It doesn't let us understand that life is a continuum. Maybe life has always been existent from the time existence has been. Life is a continuum. You have to plan for the long. You can't be making decisions based on emotion. You can't be making decisions based on the availability of the resources today. You can't. It doesn't work. You can't make your reality be stay to this moment. You have to let it be a continuum. Why should we spend 100K on food today when we can spend it over a week? It's not because you don't believe more money will not come in, but because you are being realistic with the nature of finance. You are being realistic with the nature of relationship. Relationship goes sour when what you used to provide, you can no longer provide it. So every time I see people complaining about, when there was money, I was there for them. Why are they not there for you now? The things have changed. You used to be there for them. If they were provider from the start, you won't be the one providing for them. Things have changed. Yes. It is the reason why you want to structure for the long run. You have to prepare for winter is coming. I don't know whether I don't know the message you people are getting from, Game of Thrones, or whether you are not following Jordan Peterson enough to learn these lessons. The storm is coming. Winter is right there in the corner. So plan for the long haul. Establish a pattern of expression you can sustain. If your girlfriend is not comfortable spending 2K, 3K with you per day, then she's not the right girlfriend for you. Establish your own on principles. We don't spend more than we earn. We don't spend. We have 6 months in saving. We have 3 months in saving ahead of time. We spread out our budget. You teach these principles to your kids, to yourself first, to your kids, your wife, to your friends. You don't spend all the money you have in a day. So some of you want to become content creator and you want to exact all the volume of content you can create in a day. You want to put out 4 contents in a day. Really? You cannot sustain that now. I'm not saying you should not put out all the ideas you have. You see, one of the things I do is that anytime the team is done editing and whatever, I post. I don't wait for the algorithm. I don't wait for the time. I don't wait for anything. I just post. I post. If the content not do better in the first time, I will repost later on. I don't care. You don't have to see my content today. My content are evergreen. I don't make all this top of the moment content. I make evergreen content. I make content that if you come back 1 year, you are going to find value in it. So I'm not in any form of rush. New ideas will come to me, of course, but you have to understand that you have to be a sustainable strategy. 2 posts a day, 1 post a day. With my setup, with my team, what is the volume we can really produce? Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. I want you to go into the group if you are receiving this as a voice note on WhatsApp. If this is some audio podcast, some way, find a way to comment. Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. I want you to find 4 people that you can say this to. Go and try to teach them this idea. Maybe you have truly understand the whole concept. How do you know? You teach it to others. Don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. And when they ask you to explain to them. Don't do things that you will be able to do today or you'll be able to do in the next 2 weeks. But in the next 5 years, you have found one thing. In the next 3 weeks, you have found one thing. That's what runs a relationship. It's stop being the way you used to be. You stop telling me you love me. You stop calling me, right? I've been in tons of relationships, and one of the things I've noticed, that's the single straw that broke the camel's back. She used to be wonderful. She used to be everywhere. She used to call me every second. She used to miss me. And all of a sudden, she stopped. Maybe because one guy started disturbing her. Or maybe even from my own end, I stopped reaching out as often as I should. And then the love will dwindled. As same thing with content, with relationship, with every area of your life. Think about it. When you are starting a business, don't start on principle you cannot sustain. Don't do buy 1, get 1 free. Don't do buy 2, get 2 free. And if you are going to do that, let it be clear from day one. This is a 1-week offer. Because when you establish those form of relationship, when you establish those patterns, the customer will get used to it. The client will get used to it. And for the people that are listening solely because of business, let me give you this nugget. If you train your customer on a certain habit, they will expect it for the rest of their life. For the rest of there's what they call lifetime value. If all the time that you make is when you are on sales, when you are on discount, when there's 50% off, when 20% off, Josh did the content the other day, and what's the name of this girl that said back on IG, Fire Funky or something? She was ranting about it with her. We are fake good. We don't know what we're talking about. And I'm laughing. I'm saying, how much does this girl make in her life? She's talking all this trap. You have very good clients make billions in business. We have been doing marketing for our entire career. You might be running business. Obviously, I give you accolade for all your result and your efforts. But I know what I'm talking about. Young lady, if you teach all your customers on sales, they will only buy when they are on sales. But if that is your strategy, if that's the expression you want to sustain for your lifetime, good. We are not talking to you if that's your strategy. If that's the expression you can obviously sustain for a lifetime. But don't ever think one day you will stop running on sales and people will buy. It doesn't work that way. Don't think one day you just wake up and say, today I'm no longer running sales. You guys should buy at the actual price. Nobody will wake up and buy. Because that's what they used to. That's what you train them to do. That's just it. It's the reason why you cannot allow your woman to disrespect you in your relationship. You have to establish that relationship from the ground up. Who is leading here? It's the reason why you don't want to split in bills. You don't want to be splitting bills. It's the reason why on the first day you want to split bills. If Your strategy is to be splitting bills. I'm not saying that's the thing you should do, because I believe every man should provide and protect. But I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Establish a pattern of expression you can sustain, but don't establish a pattern of expression you cannot sustain. I remain unjust. I hope I've been able to bring value to you today. If I am still providing you value, click the subscribe button, follow me across all socials, and I promise you, your life will never remain the same. In fact, I promise you this one thing: I will change your life for good. See you in the next one.